Welcome back, everyone, once again to VCT EMEA. Now, before we get into the second match, I thought we'd take a trip down to Gelato, down to the bakery, and do some top-tier glazing. Now, me and Kaquka are going to be in a competition to see who can glaze the best donut, and I believe we each get around a minute to do it. So I'm just going to get straight into my donut. I want to make the best donut, so I'm going to make a Carmine core donut. And of course, what color is it? Blue. What other color can it be? And I don't want this to be just tasty. I want it to be tasty. Sorry, I had to squeeze Martine's name in there. So this is actually already infused with the power of Martine and Narrate as well. We got a double whammy in here. Lovely blue. I can't see if there's any other color that's better than blue in the world. So I feel like I've got to a great start. I've only got 40 seconds, so I'm not gonna mess around. I don't want it to be a one-dimensional donut, so we can add a little bit of flexibility in flavor, which Tombizz, of course, is perfect for. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on, not too much, not too much, and finish it off with everybody's favorite ice cream. That is Magnum. There we go. I actually managed to do something that I didn't shoehorn in. You know, we talk about how things has to be good for your health, good for your brain, good for your stomach, but I think this one is going to be good for your shin. Thank you very much, my Casey donut. We do have a judge that's going to determine who makes the best one. We'll reveal him in just a second. I think I did some pretty good glazing here, so I'm going to invite Kaquka to come here and glaze Team Heretics.
Okay. Have my donut ready. I was making sure that I washed my hands. Well, it has been a good day already for Spain, but you know, why not stretch it? I actually kind of dig that donut. It looks good, but we're gonna make one that looks actually better. I'm gonna take red because it's the color of blood, because you will be suffering. I'm actually going to start by adding some names, and I'm just gonna put the kings here. I'm gonna do Mini, not Fanatics Mini. I can hear you laughing, Sue. And I'm gonna say Mini Wood. Oh my God, actually my writing is getting great, guys. Well, not at the end. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. My mom's a doctor, so of course every letter is connected. But beautiful from the players so far. Now, another one of the important players, hey, there you go, Mini Wood, is going to be Benji Fishy. You know, I'm going to, in honor for him, going to place some trap wires alongside this beautiful donut. I hope that you don't grab it by the sides. Beautiful so far. Of course, I want to add some sprinkles because we have to celebrate that Miniboo is not only cracked on the server, he's also doing great on his exams. We don't have stars, so I'm just gonna give him, you know, a little bit of this Smarties balls. And my time might be over, but I'm gonna do whatever I want because I feel like there's never enough chocolate in any donut. I have to say that now my writing is a bit scuffed. But I am very happy with what Team Heretics is going to do today. And it's going to be even more delicious than this.
Well, it doesn't really matter what we think. All it matters is what this man thinks. Fresh off a victory, welcome back, Cloud. Congratulations. I'm really sorry we're about to put you through this, but I need you to taste our donut and tell us who did the better glazing. You can start with the Heretics one. Yeah, start with the Heretics donut. Tell me how it is.
I'll hold up, okay.
Oh, it's a big bite. It's a big bite.
He's hungry.
What do we think?
Is it good?
Are you feeling the Benji Fishy trap wires when you taste it?
You wouldn't be the first one to eat one.
I think they are not doing great today.
Oh! All right, okay, I like that, Cloud, right off the bat. Now, there's a lot of power in this one. There's not that you need it.
I see him.
But there's a lot
their
of power.
color too.
Blue is your favorite. Makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, right. Take a bite and tell me if you can feel the power. You know.
He actually did bite.
Oh, I got a yeah?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think this is much more tasty.
Let's go! All right, I feel like I'm not the only person that's glazing Casey right now. I think Cloud might also be doing it. But I want you to, you know, respond to that, him saying that they're not going to do great today. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think that after everything that you've been this year, the fact that you do not support the another Spanish org, I know it has to do with points and things and stuff, but, you know, I'm hurt.
To be fair, history would agree with you because they did play each other already a couple times, and when they played each other at the finals of Kickoff, it was Casey that won. Cloud, do you think we're going to get the same Casey today? Are they going to be that good?
I mean, KC were struggling last games, but I think that's what made you making you a strong team. You know, if you are taking a look after a loss, they will fix some mistakes, and I think they're gonna become like a little bit stronger or a lot stronger.
You agree?
I think that there were some flaws that we've been seeing during the stage that we also see in the game against Koi. I do think that Koi came in a bit stronger than they have been doing the rest of the year. But to me, the edge that Heretics still has, especially, it looks like the honeymoon period for Casey was like brief, right? It was like during kickoff and all that, right? But now it looks like Heretics is renewing it, bringing in also Wood.
Do you think that for Heretics and KC, it was a honeymoon period during kickoff? Do you believe that?
I mean, honeymoon period, maybe yes for KC, but they're still strong as a team, you know? It's just not about honeymoon. They're also working pretty hard. So it's like hard working plus honeymoon, and it makes them super strong team.
Why do you think they're so strong? What is it about them that makes them so good?
I think it's just like a bunch of people, like young people and talented. They want to work, they're hungry for wins. They've never played in VCT, you know, for some of them. And yeah, they're just hyped up. They support each other no matter what, and that's what makes them strong.
Well, if we're going to talk about young players, we got to talk about Wood, because he is the youngest player right now, and he had an insane debut. I feel like if we take a look at the stats as well, him and Narey versus each other on how they did on their debut, I don't think is a lot separating them. In fact, they both got 23 kills the first time they played on this stage. And Kaquka for Wood, my biggest question is, can he replicate this? Is he going to be able to do this again?
I mean, I think that is flat out a beautiful thing to happen also, because you're chiming in not at the beginning of the season, but mid-season, where everybody's like super warmed up and you already know that this kind of players are going to have this performance. To me, it's also like the things that he was achieving in the little rounds that he played, because that game was very, very fast.
Yeah, did you watch that game? You know anything
Yeah, I
about
watched
Wood?
this game.
For like 10
I
minutes?
think he actually did good for the first game. But
He did good?
the question
Sorry.
is always, can he keep it up, you know?
Do you think he can?
I mean, I do think he can, yeah. It just depends on the pressure, you know. Whenever you're losing, it just matters how you deal with it, you know. But he didn't lose yet, so I would like to see them going through everything, you know, like KC did.
Well, what
I think, sorry for interrupting,
That's all right.
I think like Narate is also super good. Like after he's losing, not losing, he's still keeping up his performance.
I was actually going to ask you that. I'm glad you mentioned him, because there's a kind of a debate right now, right? Who's better, Miniboo, Narey? Are these the two best players we have in the entire league? What are your thoughts?
Miniboo or Narate?
Yeah, and do you think they are the two best players we have right now?
Yeah, I think they're one of the best right now. But I prefer mostly Narate. I also watched his small interview about how he thinks about, and I really like a lot of stuff from his thoughts. So yeah, I kind of have
prefer
same
him?
thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's other names also in the question. I think that Atakatan is also playing beautifully, like especially the other day. But definitely having some young players coming into Tier 1 and having this kind of performance, of course, they're going to be everything that we talk about.
I think the pressure element will be interesting as well, because obviously for the kickoff finals, I think a lot of people thought maybe Heretics could win it. People thought KC could win it, and obviously winning it gave you the 3 points and the first seed and so on. There was a lot of pressure, and today it's no different. If anything, I feel like today the pressure is even higher, because if KC win, they are locked in automatically for playoffs. But Heretics need to 2-0 if they want to lock in right now, right here. And I feel bad for asking you this, Cloud, because you know you guys don't you're out of playoffs contention. However, as a team that kind of you were really playing like you had nothing to lose. You were so stress-free. You were so relaxed today. Do you feel like that's the approach these two teams have to take today if they want to forget about the pressure?
Kind of the most important part is like to having fun on the games, and KC are doing pretty good on this stuff. They're hyping up, they're having fun, and also Heretics, they're also a young team and they're having fun as well. So it's gonna be a banger match, I think.
Do you think that there is a way to deviate the pressure? Like when you start feeling it, for example, like a match like this, imagine that it was you in this situation. If you were either of these teams, especially like Heretics, it's not only that you have to win, you have to do it convincingly. Is there something that you would like to recommend to the players, or what will you do in this situation?
I think the most important in kind of these moments is just to trust your teammates, don't think about that much. Like, don't play on a call, you know? You just play your game, same on you were doing on practice, and that's it. So that's how you need to think about it. You don't think like, oh, it's the biggest game of my life. It's one of many, you know, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, both of them already made
For
Masters.
Woods is the second one.
Yeah, they made Masters already this year, so Kaquka, they've been there, they've done that. I mean, Cloud seems to be in the field of KC. They could maybe learn a lot from losing, come back stronger. But what about Heretics? I feel like they also, they did lose and they did come back and they looked better.
Yeah, exactly. I think that for both of these teams, and the question that we had is, are they going to keep the performance that we saw at the beginning of the year happening throughout the entirety of it? And it has to be with, with growing up within the game, understanding how your region works and how different it is to have secluded tournaments where everything happens within 10 days and actually working week by week. Also because we want to see them succeed and explore how they do it.
And do you believe in the rematch buff? The team that usually loses the first time around, they win the next time, right?
No, I don't believe. But Heretics are actually doing good. They're just like swapping honeymoon, you know, always. Like one guy's out, second guy's in.
Oh, as in who's fragging out, who's top of the board?
Like we did super good with Patitek, but time is for second honeymoon, you know?
Oh, now they got the second
We
honeymoon.
got all the land demons. You know, we got Rians, then Woods.
Yeah, of course.
Who's next?
Do you believe in the rematch buff?
Have you seen their
Yes,
their
totally.
headshot percentage? Like Turkish people. Oh, that's insane.
Wait, give me the stat. What's the headshot percentage?
Like I think they're overall Turkish, like above 40% or something like this.
It's
Oh.
crazy.
Who is on the top?
Damn, that's crazy. Let's
That's
bring
like
out
headshot
the
machines.
let's bring out the aim demons right here. It's Team
I
Heretics
mean, you can take top 10 ranked and they're gonna be good.
and Carmichael. Well, they are coming out first in this matchup, the reigning kickoff champions, and of course, one of the fan favorites here at VCT EMEA. If they win this match, doesn't matter the scoreline, they will lock themselves in for playoffs. But on the other side, it's a familiar opponent. Third time's the charm, perhaps, Team Heretics. They looked great last week. They have an opportunity to pull off an upset here. They have an opportunity to get their revenge. But if they want to lock playoffs themselves, they have to win 2-0 and it has to be clean. No other chances. They cannot rely on the results of the teams around them. And of course, the coaches coming out, En and Neozinho, they know each other very, very, very well at this point. But today is all about who can come out on top, who can lock themselves in for playoffs. Now, I'm in the camp of, why don't we send both of them to playoffs? Why does it just have to be one?
Because, you know, the season has ended up being like this. And I think that this is one of the obstacles that they're going to find in their careers. Because what's mentioning, probably this is just one of the many matches that they're going to play. But of course, there is a lot on the line if you want to be the one that makes the change after going to Masters Madrid.
Yeah, let's take a look at the map vetoes here as well. Of course, they're going to let the Ascent through. I can only assume is because they both don't like to play Ascent. So they're just playing this kind of mouse and chicken kind of game. But Cloud, of course, you haven't played Heretics because they're in your group, but you have played KC already. It doesn't seem. Oh no, there's the bind. There's the bind. You didn't get to play this match against them. But when you did play against them, what was it like? What were the kind of strong things that they pulled out? You feel like Heretics have to look out for.
You mean on the maps?
I mean, you didn't play these two maps, sadly, but when you did face KC.
But you know, maybe especially about the Icebox. You know, when you think about the new compositions, the Gecko, the KO, playing it without a duelist. What are your thoughts on the actual state of the map?
I think their playstyle is kind of good, you know, because they have Sage and Gecko. It's super strong combo for this kind of map. You know, they can just put the wall, throw a wingman, then plant is secured. You can play post plant. You can do whatever you want. And also, like Gecko flash and Icebox is super good if you're playing proactive. But KC have no problems with that. They're always proactive.
I also like Heretics' comp as well. I might maybe just smidgely prefer it. It just seems so annoying. Like, what do you do against a Heretics Icebox comp?
What is their comp?
I think that probably what you want to do is, I think that what you want to do is getting those reps against them and actually trying to play as much as you can. Is the duelist less comp? Is the Gecko, the KO, and the Sage?
Yeah, so Gecko, KO, KJ, Sage, Viper. It's just so annoying. It's relentless.
This Heretics comp?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is so annoying.
Right? It's
I just realized it's super annoying. Yes, of course.
No, that's what I mean. Like, what do you make of this kind of combo? And most importantly, what makes KC so comfortable picking this map against them?
I think Heretics' idea is just to put the Sage wall, plant the spike because they have KJ Viper, secure the plant, then you can play post plant. You don't even need to fight it against them. You just win enough time and you won the round. And that's the kind of idea of this comp, I think.
That's the thing, and probably one of the main reason why I am excited for this map. After KC lost it, they decide to pick it. They want to go against them, and probably they have found a solution to what we're mentioning here.
Yeah, I think if they definitely picked it, so they know how to play against it and they want to try it.
Yeah, and I don't believe, have we seen them play with Wood yet?
I don't think so.
We haven't. Oh, they what is going on? Okay, they went from having a super annoying comp into kind of the basic B comp with Reyna. What do you think, Cloud? Is this a good idea?
They're just like, I think Nerezine said just, guys, can we just end it?
Is this
On
2020? What is going on? It's like,
Is it Shados? Is Shados in this lobby
just
right
look
now?
at this composition. For how long did we see this kind of thing in
I'm really
EMEA?
mad. I'm really mad.
I am
felt
actually
like,
very excited because hear me out. One of
I'm
the
not.
things in the to-do list for KC was to fix out the mid-run, and hear me out. There has to be a lot because this was not in the initial plan.
but their comp was already, like we've talked about, it's annoying to play against. It was great.
I mean-
and Wood has only played Reyna twice, ever. This is his third time playing
I
Reyna.
mean, this is also annoying. Imagine Reyna every time picking you somewhere, you know? You
And it's
expect
Wood.
it. Yeah, and it's Wood. also.
Okay, if you were in the server right now, Cloud, and you were prepping for that Gecko Sage a KO comp, and you see this, are you celebrating like, yes, this is going to be easier, or are you like, oh, this is going to be more difficult to play against?
I mean, it depends which playstyle we have, but definitely against them right now. If I would see this comp, I would say, guys, can we just hold the angles and like don't do anything on the map for 15 seconds, so we can realize where is Reyna or something.
I think also like Team Heretics is starting on the attack. We can expect a lot of like set rounds and just sending it, time after time on the same side with everything. It's going to be complicated. Martin did not have the best couple of weeks prior to this, but I think that there's some weight on his shoulders right now.
How are they going to plant, Bear?
They will, no worries.
How?
So I'll tell you why. If Benji is just going to put his setup, everybody's going to be running across the map. Riens is just going to be getting the info so they can go in. Minibo's going to dash in. Benji will get the spike down and just walk back, literally. He has like a very 5 meters to work with on the side, and it's the 5 meters between his turret and the spike.
You agree, Cloud? Do you think that's a good plan?
I mean, they will not even plan, they'll just send it. Like, why do they need the plan? They have Reyna, Jet, we can just run at them and kill.
Okay, on the other side, how do they retake into the Gecko Sage, all that stuff? What are they going to do in there?
They don't retake, they just fight till the end.
Yeah,
But
no
that's the
retakes?
thing. You were talking about how KC loved to be proactive, right?
and
Do you
KC
think that you
loves
can do
fight.
it with against this, or this is like a very good move from Heretics?
I mean, they will just fight each other, I don't know.
Do you want to change your choice of donut?
No, I think the KC one. I feel like, honestly, I was really mentally preparing myself for this annoying comp versus annoying comp. We're going to have like
Yeah, I bet Egg was in the same
wingmen
position.
are going to fight each other. And then all of a sudden we've got the Reyna in the mix as well. But to be fair, I don't really hate the Reyna that much. I'm just really upset that they took away the Gecko Sage. I just felt like that was the win condition.
The
I
thing
mean, they want to surprise their enemies. Because they probably know that N is gonna anti-strat or do something with their Icebox, especially if he picked it, So, yeah, they're expecting it.
Well, if you guys at home were wondering what's going on, Pansy's not casting, but we do get a little bit of a tech issue somehow, so I'm wondering if maybe Pansy's in the crowd doing something, but
she only
it's just
casted 2 maps. That's like not in her contract.
It's just a keyboard issue on the side of Casey. We're getting it looked into, and hopefully we'll be ready soon.
Somebody smashed it after seeing the Reyna.
Yes,
My
yes.
prep!
They're like, guys, we need some more time,
More time to think. But this is the great thing about N, right? N will know what to do. He put Shados on the Reyna on Icebox a billion times.
The problem, Sue, is that Eng is not in the server. Like, he gets 1 minute and 2 minutes tops to talk about them after they see the composition. And I would not be super surprised if this was like a last-minute change, right? Like, probably there is a world in which Team Heretics did not expect to pick this, to be playing this map, and after they see that Casey picked it and they have a clear idea, and like Cloud was mentioning, that Eng is going to be very prepared to just be like, what if we play Reyna? Like, there is nothing that they can prep against that. I have a little bit also of PTSD, because I think that Gecko has become so important, right? I just, I also think, the Sage for the side of Gentlemates, some of the Phoenix. I can see some of these agents coming out. I don't know how much I want to see the Reyna, though.
Well, we're going to see it regardless. Thank you very much, Cloud, for joining us. Thank you, Kaquka, as well. And it's time to pass this over to your casters to create even more chaos. It's Mitch and Tom.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. We're ready to kick this one off at long last. No more breaking chairs in the background. Oh my goodness.
We got
Reina. Like it's VCT EMEA, but it feels like Heretics came in expecting a ranked game.
Every analyst around the world is rejoicing. Their favorite agent has been played. The year is 2021. We're going back to absolute rubbish comps to try and just blitz their opponent with individual aim. And honestly, they have Woot. It's gonna work.
Well, the guy came in, a fantastic debut, one of the best we've ever seen, if not the best. He's currently stat leading in EMEA and now looking to defend it on Arena. Fair play. This is one way to do it.
Those stats aren't skewed at all either.
No, not even slightly. Not even slightly. And you know, for KC, I love what we heard out of Cloud as well. KC's a team with Aang. They're gonna want to come in. They're gonna have their anti-strats. They're gonna know how you like to play the map. Good luck anti-strat in this.
Uno reverse. Pull out a Raider. You can't anti-strat no strats. How about that one? Yeah, this is definitely a risk. It's a gamble, but as I said, this kid is the prodigy, the prince, the man who's put ridiculous numbers up in his first match, now trying to do an extra bit more. Let's not pretend like Miniboo hasn't been a force to be reckoned with either. And it's their opponent's map choice. If they're able to pug their way through this one, it would be impressive.
Oh, yeah. Look, it's a statement coming in with this composition alone. Let's see what they can do with it. Miniboo not causing any trouble in the pistol. Noble Riansby, they're all dropping, leaving Woot down below on the site and a teammate far, far away. Benji's on his way. Woot has to hold strong and he's stunned up underneath. Quick swing, there's one already. That's all he's getting. Good luck to Benji in this clutch. 50 HP and a 1v4 walled off. He's on the long sprint around the side and plenty of players waiting. Good round for Narrate as KC pick up the pistol.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about what is going to be the problems of this composition. Like, we've seen a lot of people sort of talking about whether you should still be running the likes of a Sage or Harbor because it allows you to get into the afterplant, which we already know on this map in general is going to be incredibly strong. The other alternative is that you run a Gecko and you run a lot of utility, so you can clear a lot of angles and basically put yourself in that afterplant anyway. The problem that Heretics are going to rely on is you need Woot and Miniboo to be getting entries. If they have a flat game, they are done. There is no backup plan. There's not a lot you can really do as you don't have any of the combinations you would do with, for example, the comp that you have on the other side.
Well, that's it. It's why you don't like to see it in your ranked games, right? When a player doesn't do well on Raider, they're not really... That too. You know, the only thing is I have a bit more faith in players like Woot to hit their shots and find the value on Reyna than Timmy in the ranked game. But reality is, someone like Woot, this is the exact kind of player we want to play. We're reminiscent of the old days, like Element on this map. He made Reyna a little bit of a staple for a while.
Chakas as well, if you want to say someone who's still in the league. He was a beast on Reyna. But even he doesn't play it anymore. In fact, he took Heretics on comp.
There was a time. There was a time. But I can understand against KC just avoiding that anti-stratting. We'll see if there's any benefit for Heretics. This round will not be where we're searching for it, at least not expecting to find anything. With just classics on the other side, Woot having himself a little sheriff to work with, but severe lack of teammates.
Yeah, expectations low.
Nice shot.
Never zero. Not when this man is about. We were hyping him up before he even got his debut. Had to wait a little bit longer than expected, but on an individual level, there is few
30 seconds left
that can put up as much damage. The thing is, though, if there were youngsters who could match up, they're on the other side. KC, they've signed some incredible players. We've seen it already with their run to Madrid. Although there's a little bit of damage here for the side of KC. Ultimately, Heretics didn't get anywhere near as much as maybe they would have hoped for. And with 2 players dropped, the bye will be fairly comfortable for the French side.
Yeah, that's one of the take it or leave it rounds. I think KC did a good job in sitting back after this initial burst of aggression from Narrate. He goes down and they realize they need to play the numbers. They do a fantastic job of it. You even saw the Outlaw catch the tag onto Woot. It was a 140 hit. Of course, his overheal kept him alive, but not for too much longer. Did allow Benji to get the trade, but economy not damaged too much. And KC have a pretty strong follow-up by 3 Bulldogs and an Outlaw, a ton of potential damage output. Team Heretics obviously on the full buy. The rifles come into play. And for KC, backing off on A pretty quickly. Nowhere near the numbers that we've seen in play before on this side. Instead, it's mid-presence they look for. Already destroying the turret, taking some info out of their hands. But there's not much else they can do here on the defense without taking risks. It looks like they'll be set into an A retake.
This is based around the ult. Like, well, when you've got yourself an ultimate online that's definitely going to help you out in retake scenarios, that's the better gamble. You can put extra personnel on the other side and actually a little bit unaware of some of the angles they could have lost to. man advantage actually held with Tombizz being able to find another one. Woot, though, is not stopping. Cloud mentioned this. They're just going to push. They don't even care about plants, and, well, it may be their demise.
Yeah, this is a problem now. Boo's got no teammates to help. Benji's miles away, making his way through mid, so that's an isolated kill, but at least Benji picks up one on the back end of it. Problem is, there's so many more to take down with the defuse already underway. Half, and I don't think there was any way to stop that. Nano lands way too late. And they only delay the defuse to put the orb in play for Tombizz. A third round for KC and a fight back on weaker weapons as well. That's a danger sign for Team Heretics not getting that third on the board.
Yeah, and this is the thing. A lot of what we sort of hated about this old school Icebox was the fact that you basically did rely on, okay, can we pull something off with ridiculous over-aggression? That's what Woot was going for. And bear in mind, this is a bonus. So that was a round that you were expected to win. Your opponents came in with a few weaker weapons, and they were able to take over the line because ultimately you ended up in a 1 versus 3 duel. So already we're seeing the vulnerabilities of this sort of composition in comparison to the high util one they ran before. And well, Woot, I'm actually a little bit surprised they don't have him going in with one of the Guardians. Okay. See you later, Miniboo.
Quick and clean, straight through the smoke. Yeah, especially with Empress online. You know, this is where you'd expect a weapon. I'm not going to say the Guardian in particular, but any weapon to make its way into his hands. Probably want him to be taking a lot of those opening duels, but hey, maybe they're very confident in this man's Sheriff ability. Far back play from KC, but the rotates are underway. Looks like they'll be fairly stacked up on B, and the question is if Benji can find value from his lurk position. He's caught by the turret, and now seeing the rank, though, will be dropped. And he has a good idea on both of these players down below. This duel goes Benji's way, and with some support as well, they can find themselves right back in the round, but the pincer's too good, and it leaves Boo alone.
1v3 scenario.
I have the spike.
Spike retrieve. Still a bit of time to play with him. Okay, Tombizz at least gives him a fight. An opportunity
Toxin screen down.
for him to try and find something here, but he's going to have to try and isolate one of these battles, and it isn't going to be happening. Martin is there to close out the round a little bit closer with what was, again, some weaker weaponry. But now we look to Heretics. We look to see what response they have, because bear in mind, Mitch, they chose to start on this attack, and thus far it's been a little bit flat.
It has. It has. Look, the last round, like you say, there were some weaknesses there. They put up a little bit of a fight, but this is where things get interesting. You have a Viper's Pit online for Tombizz. KC 4-0 in the lead. They lock in this round. They start to snowball, run away with it. We need to see Team Heretics find a response. And it's not only that ultimate, the lockdown in play for Benji Fishy, sure, but the operator of Martin won't get contact early round. We can see on the map. The A side is where the contestant's coming through, and, well, it looks like Shin is lucky to escape with his life. Tagged down to 26 HP, and the wall's going to be used already.
Initiated.
Down in. The wall will definitely cause an issue or two. So he won't be able to claim a lot of the ground. You can see Narrate attempting to try and play in front of it, but eventually has to back out and try and play on the edge and spot anybody, but the utility is there. Again,
take flight.
Gonna have to be fairly aggressive in their post spawn. Not a lot of utility for Heretics to play with here.
Big problem is this man here, Magnum, on his way up behind. It's being watched though. Benji was aware of that play, and with the Viper's Pit blocking out a lot of space for KC, they're forced into a Heaven retake. It's going to be a big drop from this squad, running them right into Miniboo, who's up on top for one and a little bit of damage. A lot of these players tagged up, and Boo's taking advantage of it with Martin down and the time ticking ever quicker. They might just decide to bail on this one, save those weapons through to the next round. It looks like the call is made. Those initial fights, enough to decide the fate of this round, and it looks like at long last we're going to see Heretics with one, but Woot isn't done yet. He's going swinging, and there's a punish on the other side.
Yeah, it's something in an attempt at damage, but ultimately it does probably a bit more the opposing side. Again, another fast-paced round, but it was the Viper's Pit, I think, that made the majority of the difference, and just the awareness of Benji Fishy, who's been off to a good start. I want to say that. I want to give a little bit of context as to the value of these games. So I know that a lot of the time the permutations can be quite confusing, so I'm going to try and keep it as basic as possible.
I have a whiteboard if you need it.
Nope. Okay. If KC win, they are qualified. If Heretics win 2-0, they are qualified. Otherwise, I think if they win 2-1, Gentlemates, if they were to win 2-0, could overtake them. So that is where we sit. So if KC win this series, they are in. Heretics, if they lose a map, there is still a world in which I think Gentlemates could overtake them.
Yeah, they'll lose a map and win. KC, lots of ultis online moving into this one. And rifles on the line for both squads. Viper's Pit out of Tombizz. Would have been nice last round to fight their way back through. But now that retake becomes a little bit stronger. They can play lighter on B already. Some nanos being used to slow down the push. Although I'm not sure it's really succeeding in that aspect. Heretics have pumped the brakes to look for duels. The rotates are on their way, and it looks like they've made the right decision. I don't see a way back here for Heretics unless it's taken quickly.
Yeah, the problem with B takes is you're going to have trouble getting those afterplants in. Now, they're lucky in the sense there isn't really body towards Snowman. So they can sort of bait these plants, but there's a lot of counter utility. Magnum, though, has Hova gone down. These fights for now going in the favor of this attacker side. Tombizz tries his best. Shin now the last man standing, but he has a res.
He does, but I think Benji Fishy's position's enough to end this round. He goes for the res, that flank coming through. Might just end it there and then.
Oh.
The wall not even attempted just yet, and it's all a patience game. Benji's not in a hurry to close this one out. Wall up, tap on. It's not stuck. There's the swing from Boo to close it. Nicely done. Team Heretics up with another. And I like the idea here, Tom, because we see exactly what was talked about on the desk. They just want to fight. The wall's up. They don't really have a position to plant and play post-plant back on yellow. Instead, they just stand out in the open, wait for the wall to drop, and what are you going to do when there's 3 of these guys facing off against you? They try to take the duels, but those narrow hallways betray them.
I'm a little bit surprised, though. In a lot of these rounds, I would say KC could very easily hold this B site basically just from Snowman. It's a really difficult spot to clear, especially if you don't have a lot of sort of pop flashes. I guess you have Woot's Leer that could kind of help you out, but a lot of times when you see teams taking that control, they use a Kale or a Gecko, and those are the best ways to do it, maybe even running a Harbor. So if you play from there and you're Tombizz, for example, you can just throw utility in and stop them from planting, and then it becomes very, very difficult to get anything done. Instead, because they're all playing sort of back within the site itself, within the plant area, those are battles that they could very easily swing in from without a lot of the risk that you would have had if there was someone towards the Snowman. So I think the way that KC set up was actually one of the easier ways for Heretics to take the fights that they wanted. And well, to be fair to them, they won them.
Well, I think that's it as well, though, from the side of KC. In terms of making the adaptations to avoid giving these players those fights, it's going to be tough to do. Like, even as you're saying, towards Snowman, it will be more difficult to take that space, but the way they're playing for the wall to go down, you might end up peeking to check if they're still there and still have 3 guys in a firing squad on you. We saw it in the start of the previous round. Like I said, some utility came through. There was a nano back yellow, but I don't think that's why Heretics slowed. I think they stopped to let KC swing in to see if there's a player there, to get the information, and they would be able to dome that Snowman player. Nobody peeked, wall goes up, they go to site, same process, but look for top site. Now, a quick bit of aggression around the tube from this Heretic side. They took top and they're taking bottom as well. Magnum on the jump peak just to spot it, and he's the one player you don't want to see in an early fight. He's got himself a pistol. Everyone else on his team has a rifle to fall back on.
Tombizz as well. Viper's Pit. I saw the Phantom, made the assumption that that will be coming through in this round, and it's something that they may want to try and battle for. A lot of the time it's going to end up with a player isolated the B site normally in that realm anyway. Instead, though, KC have doubled up, tripled up even their mid control, and then just put a deep wall in. It's something that would have to be broken, basically just being used for information at this stage, and then they even have a couple of nanos ready just to deny if anybody was to attempt a quick push.
I do wonder if the pit even goes up on the back of the drone being heard from so far away. Now they have nothing to fight back through. They have to take it the other direction on the side of Heretics. That means straight into the A site, where Shin was waiting, where nanos are online and now activated, slowing it further. 30 seconds as Mosh Pit comes through. At time running down, they're going to go straight into Shin in just a moment. Although Magnum's fallen, so is Narrate. The numbers thinning out on the site, but Shin standing strong. He's holding the control till Boo drop shots him. That's one way to do it. 14 seconds, and they've got time to plant, and no denial possible from Tombizz. That ult no longer online as it falls over towards B. He has to do this with the Phantom he bought up earlier, thought he'd have an advantage in these fights. Instead, has to try to win that spray, and it would have to be a collateral. Not this time.
I think if he'd actually sprayed correctly, they would have killed Boo first, just because of the vulnerability behind him, but good team play in the end for the double swing. I'm out. Nice attempt from Shin. I feel like he's a little bit unlucky not to get the kill on Barry. Very unlucky. I didn't realize it was that instantaneous. Heretics, though, they're on the climb back. 3 rounds in a row. And as I said, like, these are the sort of maps as well that I feel like if Heretics win, it's going to be infuriating for KC. Because you're coming in with a comp that objectively is just based around running in and gunning.
Well, that's it, right? There really isn't a lot more to it, as we've seen in the rounds that they've won. And look, if Boo's going to be hitting shots like that as well, it's one thing with this comp, you have to be a little bit more committed than with some other comps. You've got to be a bit more direct. But a guy jumping out of heaven, drop-shotting people, that certainly speaks to where the brains of Heretics are at right now, looking to move towards this A site. Nice snakebite in play, and a late peek from the right almost caught them off guard. Good damage with the weaker weapons already. Woot, though, hasn't been damaged, has plenty of heals and dismisses all around him as he's dropping and assisting those fights, but none of them are needed. Tombizz, the last man standing again, but not a 1v2 with a rifle, instead a 1v3 with a sheriff. But some of the players are tagged. I don't know how much that's going to help.
Yeah, you can see that at this point, you've still got a snakebite and nano. When one player's standing, it becomes a little bit more difficult. With Tombizz managing to find himself a rifle there has to be a part to this where he just thinks about bringing it through to the next round. They will have a buy anyway, so he may just want to try and do some damage, but the economy from Heretics is not in a particularly bad spot. And again, like when you're being this direct with a lot of your plays, a lot of the time the repurchase of even some of the utility isn't going to be the most important factor. 4 rounds in a row now from either side, as it will even up on that scoreline. Heretics grinding things back. I'm waiting to see what response KC have, because they've already taken themselves an initial pause, Mitch.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. When you go 4-0 up and now you're equalized, I think it is the time to reassess how you're approaching this. And again, the value being found by Heretics in that KC will have done so much preparation for this map, for this squad, and now that prep is out the window. And you need these pauses.
You know as well that a lot of the coaches, they do like all-nighters. Yeah. Like, if you ever talk to any coach within any region, and you say like, oh, did you get a good night's sleep? The answer 99.9% of the time is going to be no.
That's it. You spend weeks, months working up to that point, and one official can change it all. That little extra hour's sleep doesn't seem so good compared to an extra hour looking over.
Oh, they'll get a lot of hours of sleep if they don't make it to the event.
That's it. You got a little while. You got a month to just chill out and take those siestas. And for Heretics, op in play for Miniboot, Bladestorm back up, and a few ultis to fall back on. A pick in a position where they can't hold the body. Not as valuable with Shin having a res to work with, but this squad has been pretty deathball-y. Just a lurks out of Benji Fishy that have been thrown out most rounds. And you'll see Heretics looking a bit more pointed towards the site. The B site, their target this time. Plenty of utility locking them out, but they're waiting for their toxins to come back up to put that wall in play. Where's Miniboot going when that happens, though?
This is the problem. They are so ready for a player in towards Snowman, because it is one of the major danger points. If you have snake bites coming in, you can't plant. Miniboo's just been tapped out of there, and again, this is what I wanted to see. Just attempts at plant denial. Just don't even need to necessarily fight them, but they are winning every single one of them at that. Narrate with another. They're trying their best to defend Boone. He will get out of there with a plant, but losing 2 men in the process, not ideal.
Well, it's both your duelists, right? We talk about the ideas behind this, playing that bit more aggressive. You're not going to have your post-plant utility from Benji because he's miles away, and now they've spotted him too. Magnum picking up his first 2. And it looks like that might be where it ends. He's very low, being tagged up, defuse underway, and undeniable at this point. Sadly, Rians can't do a thing about it. That rifle's forced to save through to the next round, and KC surviving with 4 players in this round, avoiding the mid lurk out of Benji Fishy, taking down every aspect. And to be honest, the Mini-Boo pick through that's Magnum's first kill of the game. That's ridiculous.
The thing is that it is the problem, again, of this composition is just, it's difficult to get into the afterplant. It's definitely difficult to get into it for free. And if those duelists fail, that's what you get in a round. You get a 3v5. Like, and you have to remember who they're up against. Like KC, we have talked about the individual skill that this team has. And although, okay, Martin at the top of the board, he's normally not even the highlight. Like, we talk about how good Narrate has been throughout the season. I think Shin's resurgence has been insane. And like, Tombizz doesn't even really need a mention. Like, this kid has been nuts. He's been switching roles over to Viper, then over to Cypher. He's been fantastic. So there isn't a guarantee for Miniboot and Woot that, okay, you two run in and get a couple of kills for us. That's not a guarantee, even though they have the ability to do it. And right now, whoa, the top of the board for them is actually Benji. It's been those lurks. That's been one of the biggest successes. For Heretics, I do worry a little bit because remembering back to the Icebox of old, it was a very attack-sided map. Like that's what we used to think about. It's like, oh look, G2, they've only managed to get 3 rounds on their defense. Oh, cool, they won 13-9. Like that was how the game would go. It wasn't fun, it wasn't enjoyable. So seeing them struggle a little bit when it comes to the attack, I think that's going to be problematic because their defense basically just has to be running it down on the A side.
Oh, at the end of the day, though, 4 out of the last 5 rounds have found their way to Team Heretics, right? That's a little stumble in the previous. It's
I think they need 7, though.
Fair, fair. There's no more room for error in that case. But yeah, there was a stumble from Miniboo. Will that happen again? Oh, nice shot, but Shin surviving. 26 HP, heal up close, but he won't get out. Woot's there a little too quick. And right back out of the choke point. Empress online. Benji Fishy down to 26. A lot of damage done, and breaking their way through a choke point won't be easy. If they go back in the other direction, as we can see, Tombizz has got it on lockdown, spotting their spawn and ensuring no rotates. That means when they do push A, there will still be 3 players waiting for them, beckoning them in.
One of them with Thrash as well. That is going to be thrown out, so they can clear a lot of this initial position, and Tombizz has gone so far forward. He's going to have to hit some pretty nice shots to get more than one. The first one is almost guaranteed to be for free, but I think he now knows they have cleared the rest of the information. They're going to be running in his direction. Oh, it's a whiff! Oh, he played the round so well, but then hasn't managed to connect the shots.
Toxins going up.
The worst part is, Tom, if he stayed took there, I think all 3 walk past him. Who's going to clear it? Who? Who is looking there? I understand why he swings.
Oh yeah, it's the element of surprise. It's not it's not the wrong play. It's just the wrong execution. And now for the rest of the team, well, you have to question: do you go for this post-plant potential with a Viper's Pit if they need it? A 3v4, your economy not in a great position either. I think they were all in gambling on Tombizz getting at least 2 kills there. And unfortunately, this time he comes up with nothing.
Oh, well, look, that's at least one silver lining. It seems Heretics still expect this to be commitment from KC. Speaking to their ability to retake quite quickly, how dangerous it can be when 3 players come back into that 3v4, but Narrate can send the wingman usually. Obviously, we can see it's not online late into the round, and then still have those 3 players aim dueling. They're scared. They use the pit.
This is the worst. Like, imagine you're Tombizz. You're a young superstar. Your aim is normally crispy as can be. You whiff, and then you have to sit there for a full minute, just like, oh god, what have I done?
Everyone saw that.
Everyone saw that, and also, just because the other team has to go plant, then you have to sit out the entire plant timer and the round ending, and you're just like, yeah, that's the
how
face.
you feel.
Yeah, that's the face I made as well.
Did you tee that up, Tom?
Yeah.
I saw
we are
you
twins, you know?
Vision mixing.
Tombizz, Tombizz, like, you know.
Ah, yes.
2 Toms.
I think he got the genetic lottery, unfortunately, Tom.
Yeah, you know. He got the looks, the skill, the hair. What did I get?
The voice. There you go. I'll give you that, Tom. No, 5-5, round 11. 2 more to play for Rez, still online for Shin. KC, 4-0 up. Stalled out that little bit. And Tom, you said 7 rounds for Heretics. It's looking doable at this point. Economy still decent on some players for KC, but that op shot not landing. Even though they could afford it here, Benji just about dodging that peek. He won't get it a second time, but, wow, he just runs straight into the danger. Takes down Magnum, and that's a lot of map control out of the hands of KC. They've got to fill those gaps.
They orchestrated that play. They literally pushed Benji into the fight, and then he still wins the battle. And it's like the script was written by KC, but he just changed one line. Even still, though, the res is available, so it is going to end up with a slight advantage, the aggression, just to try and force Tombizz out of that position. You can't allow him to deny the plant, and he won't.
Spike planted.
They're split into a 2-2, waiting for the further aggression towards the spawn, but Heretics have pulled back a little bit, playing below the bridge. Woot has a position here to catch at least one! And a beautiful transfer, Miniboo picking up another. And Rian's even doing his bit. Martin now, that op that rung out earlier, the last man standing. And he might not even have a way out of here. He thinks he can run to the spawn, but he's dead wrong. Benji Fishy waiting, lurking. Yet again, 6 rounds now for Heretics, and the lead is theirs.
Yeah, and Luthia flawless as well. It's getting cleaner as they go along, and again, like I think the initial juke, that's got to be frustrating. And Woot being able to get away with so much. Like, this is the thing. This is why we said, if this comp can work, it's based around this guy popping off, because he's slowly climbing. I think Benji has been an extra factor for sure, still causing so many issues. But for Heretics, as I said, I think this will be the minimum they'd be hoping for, and as I said, you've always got to be careful. Narrate a Martino, it's not pretty, but he gets out. That's the main thing, he escapes.
That's all he needed. Yeah, it was an info play. He's a drone, that's it. Easy peasy. Wall up, they can't pursue. Those reveals are, well, they're fruitless. But Wood has managed to get himself a spot up top, and they could cross with the spike, but instead, Benji's on his way backwards. Wood's fallen off.
I don't think that was the plan.
And now Benji's on his way. Okay, well, Turret is protecting the back, so there's no need to worry about that. I'm not sure if that was caught between a rotate and further aggression, but KC...
Run out.
Oh, no. KC are still in position with 4 players ready to fight and a lockdown to work with. The idea from Heretics is not to slow down. It's not to go back. In fact, it's to send Woot running through. He's going to charge into them. 2 kills, but no denial. That lockdown is still coming through, and they can't get out. Not quite in time. A player detained and one quite far away. This could be a little bit
We've got
awkward. There you go. Easy. I thought Benji was going to get back online, but now Boo has his back against the wall. The defuse behind that wall that could be dropped by the kill. And now Narrate has to pull off it. The classic in hand is not enough. A 3rd kill for the North American and an equalized scoreline. No 7 rounds for Heretics this time.
Yeah, it's workable, but it definitely is going to be tough. I think this is always where you're going to have the main worries about this composition. And just the shadow of doubt thrown in from Narrate. Yeah, that first kill was utterly disgusting. And Miniboo, very unlucky.
Spike planted.
I'm interested to see how they're going to do this. Because, as said, like when it comes to this defensive side, the main expectation is a lot of the time you're just going to send your Jet, your Reyna around together. They're going to push one side of the map, and the utility is there to try and hold the other. It's not the greatest of strats, but if Wood keeps doing one things, maybe it'll work. I'm not going to be happy about it, but take it, you know.
Well, look, 6-6 after a 4-0 down, Tom. At the end of the day, you know, it looks pretty equal. Heretics missed the mark of the attack rounds we wanted from them, but the pistol could set them right back on the correct course. And the scoreline tied up, the pistols in play, seem to be leaning towards the A site. All the attackers there, and the turret very passively watching the push. Not even trying to see them coming into spawn, instead catching them as they actually make their way behind A. It means the info won't come in until much later. But by the looks of things, that flank won't come in for a while anyways. Woot is slowly making his way up behind, and that plant is on its way to the site.
Here are the firefights. Martin, Narrate, Tombizz already landing. So much damage, and well, I believe that the steps may have even been heard of Woot rotating back around. You can see the post plants attempted to be set up, although there's no utility to play alongside them anymore. They're just going to be sitting back and using their advantages. At least there might be a little bit that they could try and do with this Viper utility, but ultimately there's no expectation of anything here on Woot. Left on just 4 is going to go as well. KC start things off strong with the pistol under their belt. And I also think this is going to be where the Gecko is going to have huge amounts of value as well, because when there's aggression, what's great to have? A flash that will tell you where it is, that you can pick up again.
Yeah, the consistent, the rotation of utility you can have with this Gecko. The Gecko alone. 10 seconds to pick back up Dizzy. I still can't get over that. For a long time. I don't know if it started at 15 or if I just pretended it was.
10 seconds for it to come back. Because it does sound like you mean he sat on the floor for 10 seconds slowly picking it up.
No.
I know what you mean. I'm just clarifying.
Once he picks it up, 10 seconds later, he's got it back on.
That would be hilarious nerf. Do that on like an April Fool's next year.
I'm surprised that wasn't what they settled on for the Viper Orb.
Just 15 seconds.
Oh, Magnum. He is lucky the turret's here to back him up a little bit. Benji's taking some damage, and look at Magnum's adjustment. He's just running forward. Lucky for him, he is, because this player's running behind him. He's heard the steps, but the adjustment isn't quite there on time. Damage done nonetheless. Boo, Rians, Miniboo, all taking a few bullets. It won't make it easy, especially not up against this Outlaw with no shields in play. The Outlaws missed the angle. Looks like Miniboo will sneak his way by. Really, damage is the name of the game for Heretics. We don't expect them to win, but Well, maybe we're going to change our expectations in a moment. That late flank from Miniboo being undetected, if they can make enough noise on the site, well,
He got 2.
well, that will quickly put to bed any rumors of a retake from Heretics. Instead, it is 8 rounds, and with 3 players standing, KC are in good form.
That's what we normally expect to see when multiple players push Tombizz.
Yes, yes.
He headshots 2 of them in the single spray. 8-6. This is where I think we need to see some sort of response. I assume that the purchase in the future that Heretics will have an operator in there. I think that will allow for a little bit more variance in the way they're going to be playing the defense. The fact that they're already pinging Tube, however, makes me think that they may be about to push Tube. This is really in-depth analysis I'm bringing in here.
Well, that's, you know, it's an interesting read, Tom.
Oh, look at that.
Could be the fact that there's
They
2
pushed
players
2.
there, too.
They pinged it on the map. That's the only reason I
The
can
ping
tell.
gave it away. What
Yeah.
can we say? Well, the Lear's given away the fact that the push has come in, but Rain is on the way back. Thanks to that kill out of Martine, there's a big gap on this defensive side. The B site wide open, has to be spotted and cleared, and that's Woot's job. Now that thins out this defense, it means you don't have that follow-up. What would have been the bait, most likely, Woot in the tunnel or underneath, just trying to catch their eye and run away.
Full gamble. Full gamble. Yeah, they're rotating all the way through spawn.
Did they
just to
hear
go
something?
to the other side. I don't think so. I think this might just be a risk. Maybe Benji heard some steps, but if he did, maybe he has his headphones on backwards because they're going the other way.
Yeah, at most it was one player stepping to B that immediately turned back.
This is... I think it's also just so problematic when Boo goes down early. Like, you talk about the delay that they have. They have the Viper screen on A that he uses. The Orb will be on B. He's meant to use utility to sort of slow them down on the B side. He goes down early. I almost feel like the round's over. Like, this is such a difficult retake to try and get back in without any Viper utility.
Maybe if Benji picks up this one on the back end, never mind, he's been spotted. Element of surprise most certainly gone now, and there's even a double fight coming this way. Nice play, and Rienz has got another. Looks like they're not down and out just yet. Heretics still in dueling form with Benji's 3rd. The round is locked in. Heretics fought their way back in quite nicely, Tom. In fact, flawlessly on the way back through. That's ridiculous. Would you call that flawless, Tom? They didn't lose a player on the way back in.
I'm not
Clean.
I'm not going to say
Couldn't
the word.
ask for anything better, I'd say.
I'm going to say the word I would use. I don't know how, like, this is the thing. I don't know how Benji, this is the battle. That completely changes the round because it ruins the post-plant position of every other player.
Yep.
They were all playing in high aggressive positions that they could kill the rest of the rotation, and 2 players going down to Benji is absurd. Like, well, you can see he's over the moon, but I'm a little bit perplexed as to how KC sort of threw that round. That's the word I wanted to use.
There we go. There we go.
I couldn't hold it any longer.
Oh, they've stolen that round away.
Yes.
Say that. Would you steal it? They certainly would. 8-7, 1 round in between them, and Team Heretics on this defense really starting to heat up now. Looks like already we're catching 1 kill as Magnum's fallen, but they haven't spotted out Miniboo. This is the position we were talking about earlier, expecting someone like Woot to maybe pop off in the form of Element, but unfortunately, Miniboo wasn't in his element that time. Shut down, and the advantage now equalized to 4v4.
Yeah, he took just the first 2 letters as he was handed an L.
L.
Either way.
Right there.
Wow. Or first 4, even.
All right, yeah. Well,
Sorry, can we get a paramedic up here for Tom?
just one man again, though, defending this B site. KC looking to push and pull those rotations. Thrash. I feel like Thrash is always online, but not because Narrate isn't using it, just because he gets so many kills.
Right there.
The rotation has made its way over to the B site for the defense. Now they've got a little bit
30 seconds left.
to deny this, but it's only really shock darts. It's going to have to be these elevated positions. The deep wall, a little bit unorthodox, and Boo tries to play around it. Instead, though, Little Bro will be sent into plant, and I don't think there's any way they could stop this.
Spike planted.
A post-plant that's going to be tough again, but I don't want to speak too soon.
Oh, the follow-up is huge. Martine realizes they're going to shoot at that ult and maybe even be detained by it, so swings in for 1 free kill. Heretics 2v4 and a near impossible clutch ahead of them. Nice try to start it off, but Woot and Rienz quickly put to bed, leaves 9-7 on the board. KC will extend their lead, and what started out as a 4-0 is now back in their control by the looks of things.
I think it's unfortunate. They got a little bit unlucky in this round by the fact that Benji does so well to find an aggressive opener for them, but then they have a second player aggressive. It has to almost try and go forward and find something, because if you dash out of there, there's just as high a chance that you end up getting killed.
For
so
sure.
The setup kind of haunts them a little bit. And it is weird to say that probably the person who's had the most success in individual aggressive plays is your Sentinel player. When you're running a Raider Jet, the one with no escape mechanism. Here he is again. Don't worry, the screen hasn't frozen.
He's in their heads, Tom. You have 3 players watching mid now. Literally just Benji might push, wait. And it worked out.
Yeah.
He did push. Now he's dead. Advantage to KC.
Even if it's not Benji, we saw him rounds prior, they tried the same thing with Woot. Like, you're gonna hold for the beginning, like 20 seconds of the round versus this comp, because, well, maybe you need to hold a little bit longer, because they're gonna push, they have to. They don't have the utility to slow you down other than literal slows. And those can only last so long. They found an opener. They still have a Hunter's Fury to play with, but they're going to need to do a whole lot more. Getting that information, though, is pretty important. And you can see already the Boo's gone back to holding that cross. So they should have the info, though. He's already going to gamble with the rest of the team.
Chance for Woot to pop off. Mini Boo on the back. Never mind. Woot's down right away. Magnum picking it up. Mini Boo dashing out to try and create some safety for himself. But they're quickly on him. And there's no safe haven to sit with these pistols. No picks given unpunished. KC pretty much always having that extra man in the fight up until this last one where they go hunting for Rian's. A confident face to this attacking side. Double digits found. A 3-round lead in their back pocket as well. Now we get a buy out of Heretics. And, well, it looks like they're coming up to one of their last opportunities to get back into this.
Yeah, gonna call themselves a timeout. It's going to be Neilzinho going deep into the Reyna Jet strat book. Guys, we've tried pushing A. We've tried pushing mid. What if we push B?
Not a bad idea.
You know.
Is that what you reckon? Next round, B push.
But it's
locked
difficult.
in.
Like, obviously, we're kind of memeing because this comp doesn't... This is why I said they need a lot of rounds on the attack.
Yes.
Okay? It's because this comp, all you can do is push. KC know that. So they're waiting, and when they push, they die. Now, they've had a couple of openers, but again, the expectation with KC every single round is going to be that someone is going to be aggressive. And I feel like one of the main reasons we don't see comps like this played anymore is because of agents like Gecko becoming more and more popular. Agents like KO, where you could just knife, all right, he's there. Oh, okay, I've thrown a Dizzy over. He is there. And then we've got stuns. We've got so much util to flush them out with. It just becomes problematic. And then also, a lot of the time, you could get aggressive on retakes, but you've got so much post-plant utility in this comp as well from KC that it's incredibly difficult. That's why Heretics' other comp, the one that other teams, even Gentlemates, the really aggressive team, like, that comp's kind of cool, we're going to take that. That's why teams are running stuff like that, because you can just flush so many angles with utility that you don't need a Woot Mini-Boo run in and die like you have on maps like Ascent as well.
Well, we're kicking back off with round 18 and a quick attempt at making it towards the B site. Looks like the call was spot on, Tom. We got to get you in the coach's booth. But the result is not quite there for KC. They've lost themselves 2 players. Well, we expected Heretics to get aggressive. Instead, it was KC doing it. And, well, the further aggression doesn't work out great either. The trades coming through leave numbers in favor of this Team Heretics side, and the plant will not be found with Magnum falling. Looks like Shin needs a duel, and he's found it. Mini Boo a little quicker on the trigger with the big gun. 10-8, the gap down to 2.
Yeah, I think this was, as said, beginning of the half, one of the adaptations I expected to see at some point was going to be that jet hop. Like, it's one of the only ways you could ever sort of pad the gap a little bit with this sort of composition, is just have one angle locked down, and or having Mini Boo to roam the map. It's now going to make things a lot more interesting for their defense. I expect that we're going to see him basically just play this rotational superstar. And he's been a bit quiet so far, but when you're playing that jet on defense, you kind of have to wait until you have this gun.
I'm surprised to see KC filling in there, actually. After the shot, Martin swings out, looking for him with the Blade Storm. But he won't be found this time. The rotation from Mini Boo is quick, and it's towards the A side after that initial shot off. Looks like he'll be posted in the right direction. As KC are starting to set their eyes on this site. Nobody else left in other parts of the map, and Benji Fishy's got them locked in. Although he's not spotting the cross back, he will be there to hear any steps. But this position, you know, if you're surprised by this, it must be the first time you've tuned in today. They are ready for it, but not ready on the fight. Just one found for Benji Fishy. It's not really enough in this situation. Thinning out the control that little bit. Whilst the orb might not block a lot of vision on the cross, those players have moved to the B site with only one player defending. It is Woot that has all the pressure on his back.
You did good.
Maybe not. They're going back.
Either way. Either way, it's going to be down to one of the duelists. I do give a little bit more faith over to the operator, especially with the
30
angle
seconds
being
left.
held, but his position has been given. Clearing it's not going to be easy, but there's a lot of utility to do it. Minibu does well. Finding that opener now, has a Blade Storm of his own. Try and play around with. Narrate those already going to be able to trade out one. Turning things back into a 3v3. Timing is going to be absolutely everything. The other player was planting. And Minibu just causing havoc, but he runs out of knives. Even still, they're going to turn this back into a 1v2, but it's Woot. We've already seen so many times what this guy could do. Operator picked up for Martin, holding the angle, and he's not going to miss that shot. Definitely not today. This kid has not missed a beat. And KC will get up to 11.
Oh, both of those were tagged up too. That was looking a little scary when the Viper's pit goes down. Tamazi got pretty unlucky, getting caught by this aggressive play, and Minibu ducking in and out. He gets spotted out a number of times. The turret, he's just peeking in and out of the angle. They commit the flash to try to push him back. I don't know if you noticed, the flash even shot out one of the blobs. It saw him, but he ducked down underneath, swung out afterwards and took the kill. And that's so frustrating because once the flash goes up, once it confirms it's seen someone, you feel so safe. You know you've got a second to swing that angle and take the fight. Wasn't the case this time around. Martin not getting a shot off at the start. The Team Heretics shifting direction again. They see the up, they don't want to see it again.
Yeah, with lockdown in play, you have to feel like this is going to end up as an A-site take. They've got to take their time. We know how aggressive this defense needs to be. So making sure they can get up and put themselves in position, or even pinging the back corners that need to be cleared. And you can only expect, yeah, we'll watch Magnum where he's going to jump up and just place that lockdown. It's going to cause so many issues. Again, there's not going to be much that will be available to deny it. They're actually going to throw in the Viper's Pit, and he's just like, no, you know what? I'm going to place it furthermore. Screw you. No one saw me fail the jump. Let's just ignore that. And now it's an even better lockdown.
He had dropped down. I wonder if he was even trying to bait the ult out on the other side in the very beginning. Viper's Pit canceled out. Lockdown in play for the defenders is going to go all the way. They've got to back out. Got to respect it on the side of KC. And with the spike down, well, there's no choice but to go barreling forward. Good detain. Woot caught. Almost the spray transfer on Rienz as well, who just about survives, escapes up top. Narrate hunts him down, and Magnum was looking for a little bit more. Looks like this swing could be good. With Boo on a sliver of health, the headshot was enough. 12 seconds left. That spike needs to be planted. Minibu tries to deny, can't find the angle. Sees an op now as well. Swapping it over as the res comes in. 6 bullets left, and the shot's not landing to start this off. He needs a shot to each player's head. The reload's the wise decision. The turret, the 4th man for KC, finally taken down. But Minibu getting value out of this is going to be tough. Taps the defuse to try to split these players, force them forward, but it's not enough. A tough clutch made tougher by the res. 4 rounds in a row needed for Heretics to push this to an overtime.
Yeah, again, it's just the success on these A-side takes. I don't think it's been necessarily bad from Heretics in terms of the read. Like, they had a lot of players in the right place at the right time, but late flanks coming through, the res available for Shin as well to just buffer those numbers that extra little bit. Now 12-8 in the lead. No operator in play anymore. In fact, no Vandals or Phantoms either for the defensive side. This is a rough purchase. They're going to need a hero once again.
Oh, watch out. Woot's got Empress. Rienz has got an aggressive position. I don't know if he thinks he's got a dash or a dismiss on this. So aggressive, Magnum. not wanting to give the pick away. He's playing the wise game. Look how patient they are.
Peek me.
He's just waiting for the aggression. Eventually, you think these players have rotated back. With Benji Fishy watching it, that might not be the case. But KC want a player to go pushing forward. On the heaven contact, Magnum would swing. Eventually, they get curious. They see Rien's. They don't let him back out. But he's done damage. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Even though Tombizz trades it out, this is now, once again, a winnable round. The wingman up close, he's not going to clear all too much. Might be picked back up, and we'll see a slight delay with Tombizz down, that's for sure.
Started to come back into form. A quieter first half. A wrap back around, he's going to put them in a prime position. And now it's left all on to Magnum to try and find anything here. It isn't going to happen this time around. A weaker purchase, an aggressive push, but this time it works.
This time, but they've got 3 more in a row. Heretics have to be flawless.
How many in a row have they had so far, Mitch?
Yeah, well, let me see. There's one there. No, they didn't get the next. There's round 18.
Yeah?
They didn't win round 19. And the one they just got.
Okay.
So
maybe now?
Ooh, yeah, they gotta take another 3, but this time all together with no adjustments from KC. And on the upside, KC not a team that's known for making adjustments to your play, Tom, you know?
No.
Bad team.
They haven't even spoken yet. He's still just chilling.
Call me if you need me. I'll take a nap.
I don't think it's possible to take a nap with Zai sat next to you. It's quite true. In the best possible way. I don't think anyone's napping while he's watching Valorant.
Give you that energy boost.
Look at the early rotation. I think this has just been sold by Magnum and Magnum alone. I don't know if the reaction from the other players, though, is going to be quick enough. Like, the fake out worked, but 3 players are now going to be on this A side, ready and waiting. No ultimates to play with for that attacking side, and the one on the defense is one of the weakest ults in the game.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Don't diss the Empress in the hands of Woot.
Woot is not weak. The ult is. He doesn't need it.
Well, at least he's not a Cypher here. Some dueling ability. As Woot goes stepping forward, the timing is absolutely perfect. And those steps are heard. Look at the rotations towards the defenders. Spawn 2 players quickly making their way through to join Mini Boo and Boo in defending that B site. The Boo brothers on B. The flank from Woot will be late, but the spams through the smoke, finding a little bit of damage, a lot of damage, in fact. Martin is down. Tombizz on 20 HP, make that 0. Narrate follows suit, and it's all down to Magnum, quickly crumbling as 12 to 10 is found. Now they've found some in a row, 2 more to go.
Yeah, for the first time in this defensive half, they managed to streak a couple together, and a lot of it just came down to very good timing on getting that information. The initial fake wasn't really effective just because there wasn't like a pounce on it. I think Magnum did well initially, but then it was just a re-aggression that came out of Woot, a bit of a gamble that ends up just finding absolutely everything. Their 10th round found, and well, financially, this is where things are much more problematic for the side of KC, but as said, this is where they get to talk to the big boss.
What looks like on our hood, the last pause that we're going to see here on Icebox. And for KC, this opportunity is valuable, to say the least. Aang calmly communicating what he's seen over the last few rounds. No doubt himself and Zai have had plenty of conversations. And with 2 chances to close this out, I believe what we're going to see from KC, and the buy is kind of corresponding to it, a little bit of a buy, a sprinkle of investment in round 23, and they'll fight for the 13-11 to close this out. I think it's valid that they give Heretics this respect based on the rounds we've seen so far, and frankly, based on the rounds we've seen so far with this comp. This is not an easy comp to make work, and I think they're doing a damn good job of it, but 2 more might be too much.
To give that context once again, if Heretics want to qualify today, they need to win this map. A 2-1 will not, well, this map.
Yeah.
If
2-0 overall.
Yeah, 2-0 in total. A 2-1. Still in a pretty good spot, but it would rely on Gentlemates not winning 2-0. So for KC, they're just looking at winning the game. A slightly different story. This round, well, as we mentioned, they don't really have anything to play with. In fact, Narrate, I feel like he's almost waiting for one of his teammates to die.
I think a good spot by Woot. The ponytail of Shin was seen. They know now that that recon that found nothing was being waited out on Shin. Dropped down very quickly. Wall not even in play. Spam good. And Woot dismisses. Miniboo saving him the trouble of cleaning up the other kill. And with the last man standing being Magnum, he'll have a damn good shot of it with the stinger in hand, but it's not enough. Remember though, this was the round that we expected. KC invest lightly. A sprinkle of credits here and there, and now round 24 is where they put their foot down. This is where they combine everything they've just learned. One last chance to win in regulation.
Funnily enough, like up until in that first half, I think Miniboo had like maybe 6 kills. I think he's doubled that already in the second. He's definitely been thriving when it comes to defensive jet. Now has the operator in hand as well, which was one of the major turning points in this defensive side. Looks like he's about to go aggressive with Woot on A.
A welcome alternative look. Oh, the shot's not gonna land though. And he's 5 HP, trapped, up aggressive. Woot dancing around, the Lear comes through. The ult, the Hunter's Fury might actually land a couple of tags. Could make it easier, they're not even looking at Woot. Able to find himself one and put this into a 1 versus 2. The lockdown forcing Rian's back, buying some space for Magnum, but he's not getting the spike. He's not going back, instead pushing forward the drone hard, and he'll follow up perfectly, but he has no idea on the last player. Boo could be anywhere, and the timing, the element of surprise is exactly what Boo will use now, filling back in that space. Magnum has to clear it all, and even look where the spike is. It's up top. He has to go all the way back around to find that with 50 seconds on the clock. Boo is chasing him. He is following his footsteps, as though he'd heard them moments ago.
It might help him though, because that's the thing. You're gonna check behind now, and this will be the moment where Magnum's now only gonna have to look in front of him, only look at the angles that are currently there. Boo is trying to play an even bigger brain game by going back towards mid, just in case there's been a rotation. I don't know if he actually spotted that spike, and now Magnum's gonna start the run back. Timing here is gonna be absolutely everything. If Boo catches him on the cross, if he hears a single step, that could be the moment that this round falls apart. And then is he going to start second guessing himself? With 15 seconds left, surely the expectation is, okay, he's just been waiting outside of that A site, and not that he's going to plant on B, which is exactly what he's going to do.
No way to deny this.
Planted.
But Boo will deny him any further aggression. He has him in a box. From Boo's perspective, Magnum is back yellow or towards main, and that turret might give it away. He didn't have time to place it on the way there. Boo's trained in on the right angle. He's got the idea. The poison orb gives him the space, and what a shot! 12 to 12. Heretics have clung on to life on Icebox and pushed us to an overtime.
I thought Magnum had done it. I'll be honest with you. I think it was such a good little play towards the end to sort of take things back, try and reset the round, not knowing where his opponent was, but it just came down to landing that final shot. 12 and 12. KC looked like they had this one in the bag. It was, as I said, just individual rounds being won on that defensive side until a 4-round streak. This young Heretic squad proving time and time again that they have the resilience of someone with 10 times their experience. And I do think Boo being at the helm is one of the major factors for that.
Oh, it's definitely helping them, I'll tell you that. 12 to 12. An overtime buy that sees 2 operators in play. No surprise, the impact of that weapon has been high, and honestly, there's been a couple of shots that haven't landed. Could have been even more of an impactful weapon as this went on. Now, no aggression off rip. Take a look at where Martin is, pushed up on A a little bit, but it's a tight angle with Heaven being watched. Towards B, they give up the control immediately. Perhaps the idea to play the retake. Although, to be honest, KC have had a very good time at just spamming through those walls when Heretics are pushing up, and with their inability to really fight through it short of a Lear, why not continue to farm that value? Tombizz even has the Phantom, so the perfect weapon for it.
Once again, it's the aggression being attempted. Might just be a ruse. Just trying to bait out some of that utility, although it looks a little bit hesitant from the side of Heretics, so players not knowing which way to go. They've got the time anyway.
Caution here.
The thing is, it hasn't moved anybody. Okay, we're starting to see Shin back off, maybe just to put the wall over on the other side of the map, but for now at least, they're still just waiting and watching. And with 35 seconds, Heretics are going to make their move.
I wonder if when they fake those steps back, if Magnum couldn't even hear them. It's worked out well for KC either way, but the players here ready to fight. Woot tried this before. There was no success, but the barrel is spotted. Magnum's in a lot of danger, but the swing from Narrate. Pixel perfect timing. Magnum survives late into the round, 15 HP now. But Narrate is by his side, ready to take these fights, and Miniboo suffered a lot of damage, 28 health, backing out of there. Actually, no. Not backing out, staying close. Now down to 1. I mean, it's a negligible difference because he was 28 a second ago. And the value found element of surprise. Who expects a player to stay inside that orb up close? Heretics are playing a crazy game, but one that has results. Shin, the last man standing, put 2 on the board, 3, and he's out of ammo. Tries for the res, but Miniboo shuts him down with 28 health. What a way to decide the round! 13 for Heretics, and 1 away from closing this map somehow!
Shin was born with magic in his fingertips. I don't know how that was even remotely close. And well, KC are going to be the one to take themselves a pause here. This round looked like it was going to be over. And then just, well, we need to see this again in all its glory. This kill especially, snapping it back, and well. I don't think there should be that much excitement winning a 4v1, but they'll take the OT round, and well, it was almost there.
What a play by Miniboo, not just to sit in the orb in the first place, recognizing 28 or 1, more or less the same. I'll take the element of surprise. The fact that in that last fight, so I'm not sure if he fully ran out of ammo or just switched straight to the res, assuming the last player wouldn't peek, because you're going to run down that clock, right? You've almost won on time alone. Why give him the opportunity to actually clutch it out? And that ends up winning them it. In both cases, Miniboo takes a very aggressive stance, but that's what you want out of a duelist like this. Heretics, I mean, we were ready to count them out. They only found 1 round in isolation here and there on their defensive side, and right when they need it. 5 in a row, 4 on defense, that 1 attacking round, and if they can replicate that defensive success here, that's 1 map in the bank and playoffs on the line moving into Lotus.
As I said, they're going to buy straight back into this operator. No surprises there. That was one of the pinnacle parts to this map turning around, and the angle is perfect. Not going to be connected, but there's a second layer to it. Woot just causing disruption once again, and he's not stopping. A second kill already in this round, maybe the beginning of the end. He's not looking to give this up just yet. Able to fall back with Shin and Narrate. 2 heavy hitters already gone. They need to fight from a huge deficit.
Those are big kills to take. Getting control over this site will be tough, but the wall is still there to play with. Toxins run out, Magnum grabs 1, but the kills come back. It's Woot again! 4 kills, but the ace is denied. Tombizz with a near impossible clutch. He's already found the first of his 1v4. With the screen down, the fight on Boo is pivotal. He's taking some hits, but he's still kicking. Still here to fight, waiting for the Toxins to go up. But he can't go forward and retrieve that spike. He's trying to make them misstep, but Heretics know 40 seconds, 3 players. They've got everything they need to run this clock down. Nobody needs to overpeak and make a mistake and give an opportunity to a player like Tombizz, not one to squander. When he gets this shot, 25 on the clock. Spike retrieved. And this is terrible. The plan secured, the Viper's pit online, and the flank from Benji. Maybe some semblance of hope that he will not be aware of it. Benji with another flank. This time to lock in the map.
He's always behind you. He's always behind you. It has been one of the major things that they've struggled with in this map. Was the fact that Benji Fishy is always lurking in the darkness. And again, 2 back-to-back rounds. It could have been a clutch. Either way, we got 2 or 1 map to come, as we'll be back after the break.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. I Caballo Grande. I, Lord Nieve. But, in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.